The biggest issue I see with golfers who are struggling with getting more rotation is how they're actually getting the rotation. Most golfers that I see have, I'm gonna say, plenty of rotation to make a golf swing. Is it maximized? Probably not. But they have enough to get a decent shoulder turn and then to fire from the top of the swing. The biggest issue that they come in with is how they've been told to get this rotation. And the cue that comes up more often than not is get your left shoulder under your chin. And for most golfers, this can make sense, but the ones that are coming into my office are dealing with back pain, shoulder pain, neck pain, and it's usually stemming from the goal of getting the left shoulder, their lead shoulder, under their chin. When they come in, what they're doing is they're doing something along these lines where they're trying to keep the head, we'll call it centered, and then they're lifting to get the shoulder under the chin. What this is actually doing for them is it's moving their upper body way too far laterally, and now they're pretty much stuck. They've got really two options from here. They can throw everything forward and they start to rotate before they start to tilt, which is out of sequence. Or they get here and then they stay back and they never actually transition weight to the lead side. And for my job, it's to help them create an efficient swing while improving mobility. This is one of the first things that we have to work on is what are we using to actually create the rotation? If you want good rotation, we need to be able to use the abs, more specifically the obliques, to pull the rib cage backwards. So if I'm a right-handed golfer, if I'm rotating to my backswing, this right rib cage has to go down and back. This is going to allow everything to actually rotate versus what most people do is they lift everything up, flare the rib cage. This for me is a common back pain generator. You are just compressing the crap out of the back, using the back to rotate you when we need everything around the core working. For most people, we need to get them to feel the abs working more. The other thing is the concept of rotation. For a lot of people is hard to grasp because they think rotation is just a movement. Rotation has a center point. In this case, it's the spine. When we rotate, that spine is staying mostly elongated and straight, and you're just turning the joints how they should be turning. When we get to the top of the backswing, they see a lot of, I'm gonna say, professional golfers that it looks like they have, we'll call it side bend, where they're in this position. Good rotation comes from the hips. Now the pelvis platform has changed, and that side bend that you're seeing is actually just from the right side of the pelvis raising up. So if I change the level of the platform here to this, now my spine is going to be slightly at this angle, and then I'm going to rotate this way. And so platform raises a little bit, natural movement. When we start to rotate and put pressure down through the right side, the ground pushes back, so everything rotates this way. Now when I get here, it looks like I'm side bent, but if I straighten everything out, I'm pretty much neutral. There might be a couple degrees, just that's natural motion. When you start rotating to the right, there's gonna be a touch of left side bend, but you are not coming here. This reverse pivot is where people get into trouble. So when we're looking at shoulder turn, those are the two big things that I'm looking at is one, how are you accomplishing the task? And two, are you doing it in the right sequence? If we go through those two things, pain usually starts resolving itself, especially when it's related to the golf swing. The caveat to that is if you've got shitty movement patterns and you don't have any mobility, any stability around that rotation, that needs to be addressed. And so what I typically have people do is, starting here, you're just going to shift the weight, let's say 10% to the right side, to your trail side, and then you're gonna turn. That usually clears up the misconception of, I've got to get my shoulder all the way across, I've got to make this huge turn. Because as soon as you lose your right foot contact and you go to the outside of the foot instead of a flat foot, now we're going to have issues as far as maintaining a more center neutral position. The second thing that I usually have people do is, can we just train pure rotation from a lunge where the right foot is forward, we're almost in the split stance, and now I'm going to have you rotate. From there, we can go to a golf posture, and that matches up nicely with everything. Third way, if they're not getting the other two ways, is just stand in your normal golf stance. I'm gonna have you rotate your body, hinge at the hips, arms come out. That puts you in a pretty good rotated position. The shoulder is under my chin, and I did not have to pull my body across to get there. So when you're taking video of yourself, take it from face on so that you can figure out, am I actually shifting my center, my chest way over the right side, or am I actually keeping center of mass within myself and rotating the spine into that position?